Hello, welcome to this update for North America. Today's Monday, December 1st, the last month of the year. So we are starting this month with another major storm set to hit parts of the eastern US into Atlantic Canada as well. So right now it's like noon in spots of the central US. We have this system with some rain in the Gulf, and we have some freezing rain developing in Arkansas, and still more snow in the Midwest. So these areas got really hit by the last storm with a lot of snow in Chicago, in Iowa, in many areas. So I hope you're recovering, but there's still snow happening over those areas. And the problem today will be that this storm will intensify with more rain over the southeast, but especially more ice, some freezing rain in Kentucky, there in the Appalachians, North Carolina, and spots in Virginia as well. So into tomorrow morning, Tuesday, some more ice possible in Virginia, West Virginia, and this snow keeps intensifying through Pennsylvania, Ohio, New York, and even spots of Indiana and Kentucky. So this goes affects southeastern Canada as well and shows throughout Tuesday afternoon there in the northeast New England, some heavier snow there as this low pressure system spins right off the coast there across near New Jersey, New York, Long Island, Connecticut. So this goes Tuesday, shows the winds might intensify a lot near Cape Cod later by Tuesday evening, and still shows some ice possibly and snow throughout the northeast Wednesday morning, especially like in Nova Scotia and Canada. This is still very early, so until Tuesday night, except some more snow in the northeast and gusty winds, then into Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning, actually, there in Atlantic Canada. And this will arrive early in the morning there in Canada Wednesday. So be careful throughout the night. You will already have rain and snow, especially Nova Scotia and later through the morning and afternoon in there Newfoundland. So be careful. Thursdays, some snow left in the early morning and then it goes away, but still some snow drizzles Thursday night into Friday, most of Atlantic Canada there. So this is another snowy system to watch. So be aware in those areas, especially there in the US, this rain, freezing rain, and everything else. So this showed the rain accumulation from this system now, like maximum like 4 inches near the Florida coast, even like maybe 4.5 inches in a few localized spots, but generally 2 to 3 inches, many areas and 3 inches, southern Alabama, 2 inches, South Carolina, and then the heaviest goes out to sea. But especially northern Florida and spots southern Alabama, Georgia, be careful this rain. It shows a shower through southern Florida, but nothing too crazy, just like the less than an inch Tampa, central Florida. So be aware. In the rest of the country, still pretty dry in California, like practically 100% of the state. It shows in Arizona, finger two, Nevada, very quiet. Texas, quiet except for the Gulf Coast today. And shows there central US getting slightly quieter, but still in the Pacific Northwest, some rain there. Next 5 days, the GFS is similar. Some rain there in the mountains on the west, and like the GFS feels like close to 5 inches there in Louisiana next 5 days. Let's see if it's all today or if more comes later. So until Wednesday, that doesn't show much, shows like 1 inch. But from Wednesday to next Saturday, the GFS increases a lot there. So better watch this in the long range because the European Thursday until Thursday has just like 1, 2 inches, like in Alabama, some 2 inches. But between Thursday and next Saturday, another front that might increase the heavy rain between Thursday and Saturday. So be careful in those areas. And one important thing here is the ice. So the accumulation next 24 hours. And some high resolution weather models from the National Weather Service, they do show most ice in Arkansas, some freezing rain today already happening. In some spots in Arkansas, like 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch, especially central Arkansas, could be 1/4 or slightly higher. So please be careful in case you encounter freezing rain. Be careful, slippery roads, and try to stay home. Be careful. But especially there, the Appalachians might be plenty of ice. So most areas central to western Virginia shows like less than 1/10 of an inch, but a few areas close to 1/10 of an inch. But there in North Carolina, in the mountains, and the Appalachians, some specific spots there might be like over 1/4 of an inch, like close to this 0.30 mark, but that's practically like 1/4 of an inch. And then shows this other batch across northern Kentucky into West Virginia, possibly like 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch, a few areas. So be careful this ice and stay away from slippery roads and everything. From the time I'm making this video, next 6 hours shows most of it in Arkansas there, but next 24 hours already spreads there to the Appalachians. So be careful this ice, and then next 24 hours max wind gusts does show there in the Rockies, even like 60 plus mile per gust. Wyoming, Montana slightly stronger too in the Rockies, and like a few spots in the mountains in California. But the strongest winds stay further out to sea near North Carolina, the northeastern developing now. So be aware. And now snow, 48 hour snow. The National Weather Service, they do have like even snow in Kansas next 2 days, and then this goes Missouri, down to Illinois, southern Iowa, into Indiana shows more snow. This is like close to 2 to 4 inches in a few areas. A few areas might have slightly more than 4 inches, but like this goes into Ohio, it gets to like 5, 6 inches northeastern Ohio, and like northern Kentucky should have some 2 inches and close to 3. And then it still shows some lake effect in western Michigan, close to 8 inches, even more in a few areas. So be careful. And from northern Pennsylvania to Maine, already shows this range from like 8 to 12 inches, especially there in Vermont, Maine, and northern Massachusetts shows heavier, like around 8 to 10, 11 inches, but no more than 12. So be careful in those areas and stay safe, and be careful blowing snow. Some I wouldn't say blizzard conditions, but we'll check the wind gusts in a minute, but like especially close to the coast because the winds will be stronger near the coast. Be careful, some blowing snow, some low visibility especially, and like the accumulations in general in a short amount of time might cause disruption. So try to stay inside and be careful, stay safe. It does show like there the Rockies next 48 hours, northern Montana could get close to 15 inches in a few specific mountains there. 12 to 15 inches in a few mountains. Further south, just like 1 to 5 inches. In Colorado, Utah, pretty close to like 8 inches a few areas. Northern Nevada, and like even spotted two in South Dakota or in Oregon, Washington. So be careful and stay safe. So this map for today, it does show the ice probability in this red here, so the freezing rain possible, and like the snow in the white, and there's more snow there in the white in the northwest. And they do show a spot or two of freezing rain, very low probability there in Washington today. They too shows like the freezing rain in the Appalachians continues, and they do have North Dakota a spot or two probability. This next batch of snow comes in there through the Rockies, and they do have day three and some general snow still in the Rockies and like even the plains. So we'll keep watching the snow, like today, mainly Michigan, so high probabilities in Ontario, the lake effect, and the northern Rockies. They choose the high probabilities from the northeast and those areas, and they kind of skip portion of the day here because you do expect some more in Ohio, spots in Kentucky and further south too. So day three shows the southern Rockies, still some and lake effect. Day 4, day 5, mainly concentrated in the mountains there in the Rockies, but sleek probability there in the Carolinas, but very little. Day 6 in the mountains, day 7. So be aware, and a marginal risk of excessive rainfall today for Monday, the Gulf. Day 2, nothing. Day 3, day 4 in the Gulf again, and day 5, like Fridays, Thursday and Friday. So be careful in 7 day precipitation. They do have the 7 day total close to 5 inches, Louisiana and Texas. So please watch these if you're in Florida to 4 inches total and even more. So be careful in the next 7 days, especially between Thursday and Saturday. Shows there in the northwest, some 5 even 7 inches total. A few mountains there in the Cascades, some higher total. So be careful and more rain. Most of the country, a shower or two, but especially on the east coast, higher because of the northeastern. So be careful. Even it gets down to northernmost California, some rain too, there in Oregon. So stay safe, be aware. They do have a marginal risk of severe weather. The Florida Panhandle today, a small marginal for some storms and gusty winds and no hail, but they do have a 2% tornado threat, especially like a water spout or two. So be careful. And as soon as severe storms possible coastal parts of Alabama and Florida Panhandle late this afternoon to Tuesday morning. So be careful. They choose still a marginal, mainly in northern Florida, so be careful. Still some gusty winds, no storms, no hail, and some 2% tornado. So there's a slight probability tornado to near northern Florida. So be careful. Day 3, just a storm or two in the Gulf. So be aware. Let's see here if it has anything else does know those models. So the European model, it does show today Monday until Saturday most of the snow uh, across like northeastern northern areas to the north of Kentucky. So show like West Virginia some 3 inches next 5 days. The European model is 3.7 spots Kentucky 2 inches to 3. Indiana shows some widespread snow next 5 days. Mainly from the system today and tomorrow. So in Missouri, some 1 inch, a few areas, close to 2 inches and starts increasing in Pennsylvania, some 3 inches, spots New York near the Great Lakes, some 5 inches, especially like 6 inches, some lake effect, and shows there in New York City, not much, but maybe a snowflake or two. Then does show in Connecticut some 3 inches, especially Massachusetts, 7 inches, the European 7 inches, and all the way to like New Hampshire, and shows Maine, some 6 inches, and more spots there. So be careful. The snow, the GFS is kind of stronger, up to 10 inches in Massachusetts, and like in West Virginia, even up to like 6 inches. And the icon is in between. It does show like some 7 to 8 inches there. New Hampshire into southern Maine, Massachusetts, spots in New York to some 6 inches. So be careful. And then there's the herd for the short range now. It's some high resolution, shows some 3 inches, spots even 5 inches localized in the Appalachians. But the herd has this batch of heavier snow starting with 8 inches northeastern New York and throughout southern Vermont to New Hampshire, some 10 inches, 8 inches to 9 inches, northern Massachusetts, a little bit in Connecticut, and zero New York with the New York City, I say, the rest of New York snow. And then does show as high as 13 inches in Maine, the her. So this is totally possible, especially because this is a high resolution mode and everything. So be careful and stay safe. So let's see the rain accumulations. So the river is not so heavy. It does have closer to the coast more rain, especially further south in Alabama. Some 1 to 2 inches next 24 hours. So be careful in those areas, especially that snow. Then in Canada, let's just see it pretty quick before moving on to the next system. So it does show there in Atlantic Canada from the system, it does show some like that's inches, some 45 centimeters spots there, 43 even northern Nova Scotia to 60 centimeters. That's like 23 inches. So be careful, especially central western Nova Scotia, coast to the coast too, but especially central areas. And that's until Saturday, just until Thursday. Shows slightly less because there'll be another system after that. So just until Thursday, right, some 41 centimeters to like 50 centimeters. And until Saturday, rises to 60. So be careful. New Brunswick should get snow, especially closer to the coast, like southern eastern New Brunswick, some 20 centimeters, 24. Spots central New Brunswick, a little bit of snow as well. So be careful. And Quebec shows like southern Quebec and spots in eastern Quebec, especially closer to New Brunswick, but like southern Quebec as well. Let's just see it until Wednesday first. So until Wednesday, the picture becomes clear, like just like the southernmost Quebec closer to the US and southern Ontario, some lake effect in Ontario close to 11 centimeters or more, and mainly near the Great Lakes there and a few other snowflakes elsewhere, and shows like central Quebec, a few areas there near Hudson Bay, and like northern Quebec near the Hudson Bay. But this is until Wednesday. But between Wednesday and Saturday, it should increase much across Ontario and Quebec. Much of Quebec increases to like 21 centimeters, in Ontario as high as 27, and a few spots there in New Brunswick increases more. So there will be another system between Wednesday and Saturday with more snow across Quebec and all those areas. So be careful. Just for curiosity, until December 12th, does increase more a few spots in the US and there, especially in Quebec and Eastern Canada. But that's too far. So be careful. Shows there in Newfoundland next 5 days, some 73 centimeters until Saturday, and until Wednesday, just around 20, 19 centimeters in a few areas. So be careful, a few areas slightly higher, because until Thursday, this system will cross by you like between Wednesday and Thursday. So the total snowfall from this system now might be some 50 centimeters there in Newfoundland, and until Saturday, when the next one comes, around 70 or more. So be careful. The GFS is just around 47 until Saturday. So the GFS has different ideas. The icon is around 67 until Saturday. So in either way, there will be snow in a lot, especially central areas there you found it. So be careful. It shows there in Labrador some 45 plus centimeters spots in eastern Labrador. Further north and west, a little bit less, but a little bit snow as well. So be careful in those areas. And now let's see the broader picture. So there's snow in British Columbia now, spots there in New Brunswick, not New Brunswick, sorry, in Yukon, Northwestern Territories, and spots in Alberta, and some ice, some localized ice as well. So Monday, today, Tuesday, the snow across the Rockies, both in the US and Canada, and there across like some sprinkles, central Canada. Tuesday, Wednesday, this broad snow system spinning on Hudson Bay with snow across Ontario on Wednesday, spots in western Quebec, and into the southern Rockies as well. So Wednesday, Thursdays, most across central Quebec, more snow, the Hudson Bay, and another system down the Pacific Thursday. The GFS, the same thing. The European has some snow ahead of this front in the Pacific across Alberta, Saskatchewan, Thursday. Then the front from the Pacific goes through British Columbia and Alberta. By Thursday, more snow in Alberta, the Northwestern Territories, and British Columbia. So Thursday, Friday, maybe a thing or two in North Dakota, there into Minnesota, and still more snow in Ontario, Manitoba. So Friday, Saturday, the European wants to blast a big snowmaker. Goes all the way from Alaska to Wyoming, with some snow in the Rockies, there through central western Canada, and spots there across southern Alaska. So still watching this, but possibly something to watch next weekend, especially next Sunday, more there on the west coast, in the Pacific, with some heavy rain too. And then these seasons just keep coming. On December 9th shows more fronts on the Pacific, so better watch both the Pacific Northwest and the US and into Canada if you are there next 10 days, because many fronts are possible. So be careful in those areas. And the snow further west now, next 5 days until Saturday, shows there across spots of Ontario, the Great Lakes. I showed you in Quebec, spots in Western Ontario too, 5 centimeters. Manitoba some 4 centimeters, even six. Saskatchewan some 11 centimeters. 5 day total 10 centimeters. Four, especially southern Saskatchewan and western areas, and there for north Saskatchewan less. So let's just switch pretty quick. Further south shows there in the Midwest, in Illinois, some 2 inches, Missouri from the system today. But further north, does show still shows some snow in Iowa next 5 days, especially later this week. Shows in Wisconsin some 2 inches. The UP of Michigan even 6 inches, like Michigan itself, some 13 inches. The lake effect next 5 days. And just until Wednesday shows barely nothing in Wisconsin, like Minnesota, a few snowflakes, and in North Dakota, a little bit into South Dakota. But between Wednesday and Saturday, increases across most of Minnesota, all the way to 2 inches. North Dakota, some 4 inches, spots of 1 inch. North Dakota, a little bit in northern South Dakota as well, and even southern areas into Nebraska, a little bit of snow. So be aware, shows some kind of invading Kansas from Colorado and there across the Texas Panhandle. The GFS doesn't go into Texas and it just stays in Colorado, but it does show like 9 inches plus there in the Rockies. So be aware. The icon shows there kind of some in Kansas from the season today in Missouri, and that's kind of going to Kansas, the one from Colorado. So be aware. The Oklahoma Panhandle, some slight probabilities there, and into New Mexico and the Southern Rockies, some 7 inches. Spots there across Arizona, 1 inch, and spots in central northern Arizona in the mountains. But further north does show here across Utah, central northern Utah, some 2 inches, in the mountains, 4 inches, even southern Utah there in the mountains a little bit, but especially the further north, if you go some 5 inches. The European, the GFS is like east of Salt Lake City, some 8 inches in the mountains, and the icon is kind of similar, heavier in the central mountains, Utah and Colorado there. See, even 19 inches next 5 days. So be aware in those areas. Wyoming shows as well, western Wyoming, especially like 100% of Montana might get snow the next 5 days. Some 22 inches max on the European, northern Montana, more snow there. In the southeasternmost point will be the area with less snow, but does show especially eastern Montana, they're close to North Dakota, it's even 3 inches or more, and spots there southern Montana into Idaho, in the Rockies in Idaho, so some 20 inches, spots in northeastern Oregon, spots in Washington, some 17 inches or more. So be careful. This data changes every single day, so don't mind the details. But one thing is certain, there will be a lot of snow in these areas, in the high elevations there and everything, and in the northeast and going to central Canada from these systems. But the specifics keep changing, so be aware. Those areas the herd just gave out, and let's see, let's go back to Canada here. So the European does have until Saturday. More snow in Alberta, British Columbia, some 10 inches, 11 inches, spots there in British Columbia, even to 23, and I don't know why I'm still in inches, like this is some 59 centimeters, spots British Columbia, some 46 centimeters, 31, industrial in Alberta there, Northern Alberta, we will get less snow, some 3 centimeters, but southern Alberta, like 13 to 20 centimeters. This section, central western Alberta, even 26 centimeters, close to the Rockies. So be careful in the coastal range in British Columbia, even 64 centimeters or more, spots of 61, 59, and Vancouver is 0.1, but like shows more in the mountains just north of you. So be careful and be aware of this snow much of Western Canada until December 12th does increase to an amount of what 200, 300 centimeters. That's kind of unimaginable, but that's like 2 weeks, and this data changes all the time. But just for you to know the general trend that in these first weeks of December, there'll be cold front after cold front in those areas with more and more rain and snow. So just keep that in mind. And the rain, because not everything is snow, shows there, especially near the coast in the Pacific, some 56 centimeters or more, spots of even like 94, but especially on the Pacific coast, let's switch 2 inches, some 2 inches in Oregon, Washington, 2 to 3 inches until Saturday, and then there across southern British Columbia, some 30 centimeters, 27, doesn't show that much until Saturday, but until December 12th, does go to like some 300 millimeters in the mountains. That's basically snow, but near the coast as well, like 200 plus millimeters. In Vancouver, goes to like 143 next 10 days, and spots in these islands to like 200 millimeters, the Pacific coast especially. So the next 10 days will be pretty wet. Just a warning. So be aware. And just to compare the GFS, it does have a similar thing as well. So just be aware. And it does show some rain southern Alaska on the coast as well, across Yukon. Let's see snow again, because it does show snow across like central Alaska, southern Alaska in the mountains. Not too heavy in the next 5 days, but snow, yes. So be aware. And like northern Alaska, most of Yukon, except like a tiny spot or two, it shows especially southern Yukon in the mountains. And then western, northwestern territory shows more. In the east less, but shows more in the west, northern areas. Nunavut is not so snowy right now, but it does show some 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters, and a few snow showers from time to time, so be aware, but nothing too crazy there. So be careful. Checking this wind gust now, the European, it does show like right today, Monday, across Atlantic Canada, slight gust here, and then Tuesday, this system starts unfolding there near the east coast, the US. It does even show like some high gusts close to the outer banks. Expect some rough seas there, and including most of the east coast, some swells and rip currents and some rough seas, but I doubt anyone will be swimming this cold. But just be careful with sports and everything. So does show there across Cape Cod and those areas some 50 mile per gust, the European even 51. The GFS is further out to sea. But the HER is interesting. It does show like the worst is further out to sea, and later a few gusts come close to Massachusetts, and the rest goes towards Atlantic Canada. So the HER is actually in a good mood, but the European does show some higher gusts along the east coast with this. Then it does show like there are spots in Atlantic Canada, some strong gusts near Nova Scotia, spots in northern Nova Scotia, even like close to 100 km per gust, spots 280 or more, central Nova Scotia, and then Wednesday, Thursday, CMP Miquelon shows close to 100 km per gust, a few areas, and then like some 89 km per gust, southern Newfoundland, and spots near the Avalon Peninsula, 79 or more, and then might get stronger from time to time, especially near St. John's, just north of it, close to 100 near the coast, Wednesday morning, and then that shows strong winds again with this next system Friday. So there's the one tomorrow, Wednesday. This other system, strong winds, emerges on Friday near Nova Scotia, spots across Newfoundland, especially Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and eastern Quebec, some pretty rough winds, even rougher than this one now, according to the European. The GFS as well has like 102 km per hour in St. John's Saturday, and the European to 106 or even higher. So just be aware of these systems and be careful the winds and everything. The west shows like strongest temporarily in the Rockies, from time to time in Wyoming, near the Hudson Bay, northern Ontario, and then sometimes in the Great Lakes Thursday slightly stronger than into the East Coast Friday and Saturday. But then show like still a few spots in the plains, slightly gustier there on Friday. Then Saturday does show strong gusts there in the Rockies, even like to 63 mile per gust a few spots. Saturday, Sunday there in the Rockies, and then those stronger cyclones there coming to British Columbia and Alaska, those areas by December 8th. So shows on the 8th a stronger one, most of central western Alaska, some higher gusts too. In the Rockies there in British Columbia, Alberta, and Montana, some higher gusts into the 9th, and then this keeps going. So be careful with the systems as well and stay safe. So now just a recap on those temperatures. Won't dive too deep, but does show like minus 31 degrees Celsius Nunavut right now. So that's quite chilling there across eastern northwestern territories, minus 33. So these temperatures are really, really cold now. Please stay safe. Like the wind chills, the feels like temperatures might be even colder, like even to minus 4 is some wind chills there across northern Canada. So please stay inside, stay safe, and really protect yourself from hypothermia and frostbite. Please stay safe. Like some minimums of minus 34 degrees Celsius shows there across Yukon, very cold, but not as extreme. Northern Manitoba all the way to minus 29 degrees Celsius. Most of Alberta, spots there across northern Alberta into southern Alberta. Most of Saskatchewan there even, especially northern Saskatchewan, and spots in British Columbia, those negative temperatures. In the extreme south, above zero in Vancouver, but some colder nights too. So be careful. And during the night, it does show even to like still around minus 34, but locally colder in a few areas like northern Nunavut. So Tuesday, be careful. In the afternoon, does retreat a little bit, but still like this year are the afternoon temperatures. If you are planning things for the afternoon, you'll still be some minus 33 degrees Celsius, so like pretty frozen day. Please be careful. This goes further south into Manitoba, some minus 26 or less. And then in Ontario, Quebec, still below zero, so minus 6, even to like minus 13, minus 14 there in Quebec. In the north, right, to like minus 27. So please stay safe. Just coastal Nova Scotia escapes this, but the rest is pretty cold, so please be careful. Tuesday, Wednesday, during the night goes down to like minus 14 in Quebec City, spots there to minus 22 just north. And then there in Saskatchewan gets to minus 30, spots in northern Alberta too, spots like in the northwestern territories into Nunavut, minus 34. And there in the Arctic, it's even like minus 35 or less. So shows there this really frigid air goes into Ontario with minus 27, there Manitoba already close to minus 30, and shows there across most of Ontario completely negative temperatures. In the south, even to minus 11 to minus 6. So please stay safe. Does show in the southwest some 2 degrees in Vancouver and further inland all negative temperatures. So please stay safe in spots there across Alberta and all those areas in Alaska, even to like minus 27 degrees Fahrenheit in the north. In the south, it's better in the teens and 20s. So be careful. Then I'll go a little bit faster here. Shows Wednesday afternoon, kind of warms up, but still extremely cold. Thursday morning, this extreme cold advances further into the US and there into eastern Canada, with lows by Thursday night to minus 20 or even less. And Nunavut to like minus 34. There in Yukon, some minus 36 degrees Celsius. In Alaska, extremely cold. And this extreme cold kind of invades the rest of northwestern Canada to minus 38 by Friday. So this will be pretty dangerous. Please stay warm and prepare for this. Most of the northern southern territories, there is central Canada, and then Friday, Saturday, the European does have this reaching further south there, even like minus 34 in Alberta by Saturday. So please be careful and remains cold there in the east, southeast. Changes a little bit every day, but remains pretty cold. This is Saturday and then Sunday, but maybe gets worse there in central, southeastern Canada. This massive cold there into Quebec and Ontario by early next week. So please stay safe. These temperatures are like no joke. So be careful. In the US does show like the maximum temperatures today, Monday, to 12 degrees Fahrenheit, North Dakota. Please stay warm. And like shows there in just Florida's escapes in southern Arizona and California. But the rest are on some 20s in the Midwest, 30s in the Northeast as well, and the Rockies even during the day. Tuesday morning. Uh, don't even ask me. Around minus 6 in South Dakota. This is the first time I've seen negative digit in Fahrenheit this season so far. So really cold. Please be careful. So wind chills to like minus 10, and it shows like minus 2 degrees Fahrenheit, Minnesota, and like some 30s as far south as Dallas, and even further south. So some teens, northern Texas. There in the Rockies, some single digits in the highest elevations, even less, and show some 20s, 30s scared on the west, on the intermountain west. The coast kind of escapes, but shows like some teens there in the northeast as well. And then by tomorrow afternoon, it does increase from minus 6 to 25 degrees Fahrenheit, so it does get better during the day, but still cold. The northeast and 30s on the interior mountains, some teens and 20s there in the mountains. Then by Wednesday morning, still around minus 6 to minus 5 degrees Fahrenheit. Some local spots could be close to minus 8. So please stay safe, extremely cold. So like some 20s as far south as southern Mississippi. Prepared to get cold, and shows like some 20s into Georgia, 30s, most of the central eastern US, some things in the Midwest, Miami still in the 70s, and then shows there across the mountains, New Mexico, Arizona, some 20s teens, Colorado, the teens, single digits into the mountains, Wyoming, Montana, and the Sierra Nevada gets colder there. So stay safe. During the day on Wednesday, 7 degrees might be your max. Good luck. Around 9 degrees. North Dakota, 10 degrees. Please stay safe. Even during the day, there in the mountains remains cold. Day 3 shows prepare for this. I'm about to say it. Minus 14 degrees Fahrenheit in Iowa, Minnesota, and South Dakota. Minus 16. Please buy your strongest jackets and please stay warm. This will be a very dangerous cold blast. Minus 16 degrees Fahrenheit is no joke. Please stay warm and be careful. Shows like 9 Fahrenheit as far south as Missouri, some 20s in Oklahoma, 30s into Texas, some 20s in the Northeast, a couple of teens in New York, and like some single digits in the Rockies, scattered 20s, some 30s in the lower elevations. So please stay safe, warn others. The wind chills with this might be below minus 20. So please stay safe. And during the day, it gets better from minus 16 to 7. So that's a relief, but like 7 still extremely cold. So please stay safe. Some things scared about as well, and the Rockies in the northeast colder too. And then by Friday morning, the minimum temperatures -6 degrees Fahrenheit in Illinois, still some -3, some widespread things into single digits, the Midwest, Northern Plains, and like right to like some -1, Northern New York, 0 degrees Fahrenheit into New England, and some tens, like things into single digits spots there. So please be careful. It does get cold in Colorado, close to 0 degrees Fahrenheit, the mountains, or even less, and some 20s as far south as northern Texas. So please be careful. Friday afternoon in the 20s and 30s, it does get better, but still 20s teens the northeast into the highest Rockies. And then Saturday morning, the extreme cold stays far north, so like 2 degrees Fahrenheit near Canada there, but some 20s as far south as Oklahoma still, and some lower teens into single digits New England, and like spots in the Rockies, but pretty cold in most areas. And then Sunday afternoon, this is Saturday afternoon, sorry, shows still some things in the north and the south does warm up a bit, some 50s far north Wisconsin, but still some 30s in the Midwest, and shows, and the rest is still not here. So please stay safe, warn others. This will be very, very cold. So here, let's just see like North America for some precipitation here. So next 36 hours of freezing rain from the European model. It does show there in the Appalachians and close to like 1/4 of an inch, like I showed, or even locally more. So be careful. Shows there in Washington like very tiny little, well, especially in British Columbia, next 36 hours, the European has something. And there in Western Alaska, the European has close to an inch. So that's possible too. So just be aware, these areas of ice, the GFS also has Western Alaska there and the Appalachians. So stay safe from all of this and warn others, but let's not leave our Caribbean friends out there. So still for rainfall, shows some heavy rain in Panama, Costa Rica, near South America there. And next 5 days does show some rain across Hispaniola, the Eastern Caribbean, especially like Barbados, a few showers, a storm or two, and spots the Lesser Antilles, but especially across Panama, Costa Rica, Cochue, Imminent, there's a few areas, some in Nicaragua, and a few showers further north into eastern Mexico, but nothing too crazy. Long range does increase a little bit across Mexico and spots in southern Central America, but still watching, nothing too crazy, and be aware. Let's just see if Mexico has any interesting temperatures. During the night, it does drop a little bit in the mountains, the north coast, like 1 degree in a few areas. Then Tuesday, Wednesday does get warmer. Central America during the day, like in the mountains, still cooler, especially northern Mexico and Guatemala. It's okay, but still the highest points slightly cooler during the night. So be aware, and a few spots hotter during the day, Mexico's lower elevations and Cuba in those areas. So yeah, stay safe.